Hi, it's Michael Senoff with Michael Senoff's HardToFindSeminars.com. The title of this interview is called How to Use Social Networking to Reach Your Target Market and Keep Them Interested. Maury Smith is a social networking expert who admits there's a gold rush kind of hype surrounding social media sites and what they can do for marketing. While it's true social networking can bring tremendous results if done correctly, it's also true that it can be a huge waste of time for anyone who doesn't know what they're doing. So in this audio, you'll hear how to properly use social networking as a strategic marketing tool you need. According to Maury, when marketers move in, users move out. You should look at sites like Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn the same way you look at networking events. You would never step through the door and start handing out business cards to every stranger there. You would build rapport and establish a connection first. Social networking is no different. It's about positioning and branding without being pushy or salesman-y. And in this audio, you'll hear exactly how to do that. You'll also hear how to use attraction marketing and curiosity marketing in your social networking so that you can pique interest without blatantly selling anything. You'll learn exactly what gets indexed by Google on social networking sites and how to use that to your advantage. You'll learn how to use keywords in your message so that you're never wasting space, and while you'll want to listen for keywords in other people's messages too. You'll learn how to be strategic about reaching out and asking for friends and why you should be picky about the friends you keep. You'll learn about great reference sites that will help you make the most of your social networking endeavors. You'll learn how to broadcast to your followers without looking like you're blasting spam. You'll learn ways to get your friends and fans to jump off your social networking page and onto your business website. From baby steps for the beginner to tips for the seasoned pro, Maury's got social networking down to a science. Her approach, which she calls radical strategic visibility, combines social networking with more traditional marketing tactics for both online and offline exposure. And in this audio, you'll hear all about it. Now let's get going. When someone says, Maury Smith, what do you do? What are you?
I'm a social media consultant, speaker, and trainer, and dubbed by FastCompany.com as the Pied Piper of the online world.
Is there some hype to this? Is it about a lot of people collecting friends and collecting followers and following? Is there some hype to this social media thing?
Well, I think the hype part, you're in the right area, let me just say, Michael, because the hype part is coming from the fact that people are in this frenetic, this frenzy, this gold rush kind of energy, thinking that they're off to mine for gold and that the gold is just getting gazillions of friends or fans or followers. And while numbers may be important and on some level, what is more important is that you're talking to your target market. You don't have to be talking to everybody because you can't be all things to all people. So it's a matter of utilizing these platforms, the social media platforms like Facebook and like Twitter and YouTube and LinkedIn to reach your target market that maybe you wouldn't have been able to reach them in other mediums because they're hanging out, they're enjoying being on these social networks. The one thing to keep in mind, though, is there's a saying that I like to quote, and that is that with regard to social networks, when the marketers move in, the members move out. In other words, we get fatigued as a member. I'm saying we now as a member because we're all both. Anyone who's in business is a member and a marketer. But if you're too emphasizing on the salesy, pushy, come and buy my stuff, click on my links, that is really a turnoff. And it's just better to be engaging and conversational and really demonstrating that you care about people. Another thing, too, is to be monitoring conversations, really, really rigorously monitoring conversations about you, your business, your brand.
My listeners, a lot of them are business people, and like you said, when the marketers come in, the users move out. And from a selfish point of view, I have a business and I have information products that I want to market and sell. You have consulting services that you want to be able to use the social media platforms to generate new relationships, forge new relationships, and after that, maybe possibly generate some new clients for yourself. So where is the big mistake that the marketers may be making in these social networking sites? Are they coming on too strong? And what advice would you have for them where they can use these sites to generate new clients without, I guess, offending the rules of the game, but also leverage their time by doing it?
Well, one of the mistakes is just being too much of a broadcaster. just being in a mode of pushing out messages without listening. In a way, when you think of a regular networking function, you wouldn't walk into an in-person live networking function and just start cramming your marketing message, your brochures and your business cards and going up to people and putting a sticker on their bag, buy my stuff or whatever, without introducing yourself, shaking hands, saying hello, and what kind of work do you do, and what are some of your things you're working on right now, whatever the case may be. You're going to build rapport and you're going to engage in small talk even. And there's ways to do that with social networking and to not really coming across as an agenda, and just really showing that you care and being able to listen. Now there are certain features, like especially on Twitter, because Twitter is an open system, whereas Facebook is a closed system. In other words, on Facebook, you have to be a member and logged in order to interact or access any of the information. But on Twitter, you've got the Twitter search engine, search.twitter.com, and that you can actually have keyword alerts. You can set up these alerts that work exactly the same as Google alerts, and it will let you know when certain keywords that you want to have monitored are being talked about.
Is that keyword alert set up through Twitter or another service?
There's a couple of different services that do it, and there's one that I like is called Tweet Later. And tweetlater.com is actually a whole suite of Twitter tools. You can pre-schedule tweets, you can monitor keywords, you can manage multiple accounts. There's a lot of different things you can do with Tweet Later. The other one is Tweet Beep, like B-E-E-P, beep beep of a car. And that one's fun. You can get like a daily digest or, as it happens, a real-time alert. The other thing, too, though, is just to really monitor rigorously that search.twitter.com. They index back only a few weeks. I see often that not all of my tweets show up.
Let's say I sell a information product, how to be a marketing consultant. Show me how I can use Twitter. I would go into Twitter's search engine and I could type in maybe a keyword, marketing consulting. I could look at the conversations going on in Twitter around that subject, and then I could politely join in without promoting, but join in on a conversation. Just if I was at a party and there were two people talking about consulting, and I could join in on the conversation. Is that the power of Twitter?
You've got the gist of it, but in actual fact, initially, one of the important things that you're going to do is to start to build out your followers, and you do that by following people, because that's how it works with Twitter. It's like subscribing to blogs, because essentially that's what Twitter is it's a mini blog or micro blog. You've got the 140 characters with every little post, or the tweet as they're called, and that goes out to whoever is subscribed, quote unquote, to your microblog in the form of followers.
All right, I've got maybe 1,500 followers, and I'm following about the same.
Okay, good. Excellent.
Okay, so I've built out my followers a little bit, and vice versa, and then what?
Well, in terms of finding conversations to join, the very fascinating thing about Twitter, as opposed to something like Google, where you would go and do a keyword search and you might search for marketing consulting, you've got to flip it around and think about conversation. I don't know about you, but I don't get up in the morning and say to my friends, gee, I'm really looking for some marketing consulting. So you've got to think about what would your marketplace be talking about. They might well be talking about some problems that they have. So in terms of marketing, consulting is a very, very broad area, a broad service. So it's like, what kind of marketing? What problems do you help your customers solve? What problems might they be having right now? Is it online marketing consulting? Is it traditional offline bricks and mortar? Is it press?
Let's say they're having a problem installing a web form on their website.
Great.
So let's say that's the specifics. How would you use Twitter for that? If we can identify problems, how can we get in there and market in a way that's not frowned upon?
Well, the best thing to do is for me to explain how I use it, and then we'll see how that fits with the scenario. But really, it's not a matter of like going out and looking for clients. It's more like what's called attraction marketing and a new term called curiosity marketing. There's a lot of moving parts to this. If somebody comes in and all they want to do is try to figure out how to use Twitter and figure out how to market using Twitter and figure out how to monetize Twitter, Twitter is only one piece of the marketing pie. There's all kinds of other things. There's teleseminars and public speaking and advertising. And
what piece of the pie is it?
social media.
Give me an example of how you use Twitter.
That's what I'm about to do. So the curiosity marketing, curiosity or attraction-based marketing, my messaging, my tweets that I put out, they're also part of my Facebook status updates, my Facebook posts, and links that I put out in my blog posts are all around Facebook, Twitter, social media, marketing, online marketing, profiting from the internet, copywriting, email marketing. It's all in the same genre. And I'm very, very, very focused, which is one of my number one secrets or strategies that I encourage my clients to do.
Your focus in your niche.
Yeah, precisely, because it's a very, very noisy, it's a noisy world in there in the social media, or just a noisy world, period. And so at the end of the day, you want your voice to be the one that stands out, the one that people remember, not just hear it in the passing and it's gone in one ear and one at the other. So one of the things in terms of, like you're saying, is someone having a problem installing a web form, they could very well be. Someone might be talking about that right this second if we were to punch that into the Twitter search. What I would do is I would just follow them. I would follow them and I would look at their tweets from before and just even see if there's somebody that I might want to do business with. I would look at their bio, look at their previous tweets, and then just by following them, if they're fairly new to Twitter especially, they're actually going to be getting a notification. I have most all my notifications turned off because I'm up to almost 40,000 followers. It just gets too much after a while. But typically most people watch and monitor who just followed them because they're pretty excited when they have a big name person follow them. So then they'll click through and they'll see your bio. And they'll go, wait a minute. That's what this person does. They're a webmaster. They're an internet specialist, whatever the case is. And then you might take action in that regard and go ahead and start conversation with them. It's interesting, because even as I'm saying this to you, Michael, very rarely as I go after like one client. My strategy from the get-go, for 2 years now, is to roll out this concept that I created called radical strategic visibility. What that means, the radical part, is that you're seen everywhere. You're commenting on the big A-list blogger sites, obviously on all the main social networks, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, FriendFeed, you name all the big ones. And then not only that, I'm seeing a lot offline too. I speak at events, I go to events, I have my picture taken with celebrities, things like that. And this is not like this is for everybody. This is my strategy, your own version of what does radical strategic visibility mean to you. And where are the eyeballs that you want to have on you? Where are the ears that you want to have listening to you, to the point where people start to go, wait a minute, she's all over the place. And all she talks about is Facebook, Twitter, social media. She does speaking engagements. She must be the expert. And on Twitter, I'm known to give a lot of free advice. Because I think on 140 characters, it's impossible to over-deliver. So people will come to me often again with this establishment of myself as being so visible and so focused and so on topic that people will just come and seek my advice. Now, that can be time-consuming. That's one of the downfalls of social media. It can be a little time-consuming.
Yeah, if you had to turn your notifications off, you got 40,000 followers.
Yeah.
You're listening to an exclusive interview found on Michael Senoff's Hard-to-Find Seminars.com. And if you'd like more information on Mari's special programs and seminars and free reports, she's got a wealth of information. All you have to do is go to www.facebookseminar.com. That's www.facebookseminar.com. There's no S on there, so it's www.facebookseminar.com. Hi, it's Michael Senoff with HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching this video. You know, many of my interviews last 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes even up to 2.5 hours long. They're actual mini seminars, and you've just listened to a short sample of just one of over 117 hours of exciting, hard-hitting, mind-blowing interviews on how to make money in direct mail, advertising, copywriting. I assure you, there is not a resource anywhere on the internet or on the planet that comes close to the free information I provide at HardToFindSeminars.com. So go right now to HardToFindSeminars.com and you'll have free access to 117 hours of audio interviews with typed word-for-word downloadable transcripts and downloadable MP3 files. Please browse some more of the videos or go right directly to HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching.